Before this episode starts, I'd like to say a few words on behalf of myself, Talkie Talk, and then just Talkie fans everywhere. We're deeply just disturbed by what has happened to an old school friend of mine, Alex Fletcher, last week whilst playing for Bath City. This is not the last you're going to hear from me about player welfare in terms of concrete and unprotected hoardings at football grounds or across country. There's 3 at Torquay, as an example. But that's for another part. I just want to spend this time to say about Alex. Can't imagine what his teammates are there, his loved ones, and all that, his close friends are going through, as well as Alex himself. I went to primary school with Alex, and even in those days, he was just so talented. We just knew he was going to play football at some level. I've loved watching his career, and just he's so intelligent, so nice as well. It's bad enough when it's any human, any footballer, whatever. But when you're sort of attached to that person, you follow it's horrible. If I'm honest, from my point of view, it's overshadowed a lot of things right now with football and stuff like that. It's all I can think about, and it's all, a lot of people in the inner circle can think about. But thank you. There's a GoFundMe for Alex, his family, down below in the description. I just thought I'd take this time to sort of say my bit. Thank you.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! If he stays offside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Stills!
Welcome back to part 2 of the Gull'S Eye View. We've asked you a question, or 2 actually, because we were a bit undecisive this morning. So the question was, what are your thoughts about last night? And if the FA Cup money is made available to improve the squad, what are the priority positions? So we'll start Tibbs, central midfield and left back. Just get overrun, and Mox hasn't got the legs to get up and down anymore. De Silva and one add pace and trickery going forwards. So it's about taking control in the centre of the park. What we said in the first one, really, innit? I'm very with that. Chris says midfield, not this Chris, another Chris. Midfielder with some measure of pace to take the pressure off Hall and Lapsley. Defence is struggling in the most part because of the lack of spots in midfield, or our central midfielders appear to run in treacle.
It's also worth noting, which I noticed to my mate at the weekend, if you think about our squad at the weekend, we had 4 players out injured, 3 of them were left backs. So we've been pretty unlucky in that we've got Moxie.
Central midfield's a big
Wyatt.
topic at the moment. Central midfield's a big topic, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when it's annoying when you feel like you've got 2 on the bench, like McGavin and Hansen, and it's not been used. We know probably
I go back to wanting a 6'2" guy who can cover the ground and just mop up in front of the defence. I'd love one of those.
Asa Hall, if he didn't have to play only 90 minutes every other week, twice a week. Next one, Ollie says about last night, free hit and should have just been an enjoyable experience for some of the less experienced players. Talking about pressing on the line, and that is true. It is brilliant, and as I think one of your tweets last night, Tom, just to take it a win, playing at their stadium like that,
I definitely took a moment to, at the end of the game, to sort of soak in everything, like where we were playing, because I mean, we don't get opportunities that often to play in nice stadiums, do we? Let's be honest, like proper quality stadiums. And I did take a look at the end and just thought, I really hope we're not going to have to wait a long time to get another opportunity to play at a stadium like that.
You think at clubs our size, they've gone up to play League One. We once did, League Two, even, a few. Once we get Notts County and a few like that in our league, but it's just like, we could be having that like a couple of times a year, and so gutting. But yeah, you're right, Ollie. It is just like that. It was a really good experience. And to see the club on that sort of thing at that stadium.
See us on the BBC.
He is playing David McGoldrick. What a player. Mark says it has to be the central midfield. We're a disaster when we lose the ball. Though Gary Johnson's not helping by expecting Ace to still be a box-to-box player. It says I've been able to play that role in a 4-4-2 right over. Thank you for that, Mark. Mirren. I think a lot of these are going to be midfield, aren't they? Rachel, great away support as ever, correct? Some very tired players along with some huge effort. Derby will be punished by better finishing as we were by theirs, committing forward play and tired legs. That's positional sense all over the place. Left back, strength in midfield, and another De Silva for the other wing.
We also need another forward. Now, you could argue that's Corey Andrews now. He's fit again. But again, what have you seen from Corey Andrews?
Depends if it's the Corey Andrews that was at Aldershot last season or the Corey Andrews.
This is the thing. He looks much fitter.
I do wonder if he's going to take about 4 or 5 weeks to get going. That's the trouble.
There was a moment yesterday where Cross came over towards him and he sort of looked at it and sort of stepped back from it. And I was just like, what are you doing? Just
Waiting for the tackle,
going
isn't
over to you, mate. Just
he
He
falls
does look
over
fitter
with
though.
every effort as
He
well.
does look fitter since
That's good,
because he's been out injured. He does look fitter, but he's got to get match fit and start scoring some goals pretty quick.
It's an option that we need. Absolutely.
Yeah, I welcome anything at this time. At this moment in time, I welcome anything. To be fair, with all these players, even ones that haven't started well,
There's talk of Kieran Evans being back as well, and that should help if we can fit him in with all our loan signings.
I mean, now we've got better players around in the sense of the loanees. Just give them a go. Honestly, better than playing I always believe play a 100% fit player who's not as good rather than a 70% fit good player. It's always my philosophy for football. Maybe one-off game, but over the course it just ruins it for me.
But then are we going to have to get rid of some loan players because we can only play 5? Is it?
Annoying we can't have Scott Smith at the moment.
We got 7, haven't we, at the moment?
Yeah. Steve, we did okay last night, just failed to take our chances. Central midfield and creative midfield are the 2 areas we need most. Yeah. Barnaby, very proud of the whole club last night. Agree. Amazing support and a really good performance despite the scoreline. Pro to say that Hull is looking past it. We need a centre mid to come in with more pace and energy to protect the back four. With Moxley coming back, Crow needs dropping. Clive, supporters credit to the club. Personally, I feel we are way too forgiving of failure though. Squad.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
We had the clapping on Saturday after the game, didn't we? Which was, well, not surprising, but 5-1 loss.
Not sure. Not
you
sure
were
there's
cursed
enough.
at that time, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, there's no lack of effort, is there? What do you cut them off for? Turning up?
Yeah, that's it.
It wasn't a 5-1 game.
I get it. Like they didn't stop trying. But at the same respect, you've lost 5-1.
That's a bit of a losing
I can see it,
isn't it? Unfortunately, that was what I took out of it.
I can see it both ways. Personally, I was just like, you
It's
pay
emotion
that money.
thing. I was kind of a bit like, we paid money here.
I guess it goes down to why do you clap players at the end of a game?
For effort or for winning?
Yeah, do you clap them because they've given everything?
I can't feel a bit bad for not clapping a few. They didn't.
Which is where
put effort in.
No, which is where I go back to something that I know, which I've had debates with people on Twitter about, is about this Johnson applauding the fans, and that's what bugs me, because when there's glory to be had and when there's we've won, let's celebrate and all that, he's always there. But to have those moments, you have to take it when it's not going well. So always just sending Downs over to cop it when you got beaten, I don't think it's right. That was the beauty. If you look back to Leroy and Buckle, whatever the score, those two always faced up.
Nico,
whatever it was, Hargreaves, they always took it. Whatever it was, whether it was applause, whether it was getting sworn at, whatever it was, they always took it. And you, as a manager, I think you should.
Do you remember Nico used to put his Facebook post on after every game? They told him not to after a while, didn't they? Because it just got ridiculous.
As much, I gave Nico a lot of stick that when he came in, the defeats, we were getting beat 4-1, 5-1. Credit to him, he always came over at the end, and I respect him for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a lower league.
The club.
It's certainly a lower league mentality, maybe a smaller club mentality, maybe, because if you look in the Premier League, they shake hands and walk down the tunnel in the main, don't they? So it is a lower league mentality, but that's because to follow a lower league club and to put the miles in and stuff that you do to watch what lower league fans do at times, case in point, Torquay this season,
and
it does take a lot
on us to keep the club going. Can I point out?
Absolutely.
Well, Premier League teams, you always can find another 10,000 to fill in if you can't sell those tickets.
Absolutely,
but it's like rely on us.
But it's like yesterday, we conceded 5, lost 5-0 to Derby, but it's different to losing 5-0 or 5-1 to Chesterfield. They were dreadful against Chesterfield, but it was nice that they all came over. Gary came over at the end as well, and they appreciate the support, don't they? I mean, to take 850 or whatever we had Tuesday night, again, that's on TV. I mean, we did our club proud, and they deserve to. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I'd rather they appreciate it by winning at Barnet on Saturday, but that's it.
Finishing with Clive's point. Sorry, Clive, to leave you in limbo. Squad, not sure there's enough money to put this right. We feel the obvious disaster recently, but Ellis and Ness need securing / replacing too. Anyone else in the building? Craig, thoughts? Good performance. Considering the amount of games played recently, lots of tired legs out there. Derby showed quality in the end, much crisper, quicker, and then decisions as expected. Priority positions: right back, left back, cover Moxley, Wyatt, Martin, or Crow, and a striker. Thank you, Craig. Nick, a central midfielder to partner Lapsey and a creative player, wide or central. Jake, for me, central midfield needs looking at and possibly some wide players at Torquay Fans 1. I think the squad stays up this season, put it towards next year. Interesting statement, that. I was thinking about that because I like the confidence. I was thinking because this current, say if we had Ellis and why not 10 of season De Silva, which I don't see happening, by the way, not all of them anyway, I think it would pull itself out because
I do agree.
The game against Solskjaer, but if you're losing them three, it's like, oh, and I wouldn't want to chance. You don't want to chance these things, do you? So, but it's a very interesting point. I like the confidence. A lot of Torquay fans agree with you, and a lot of us go. Oh.
I think the trouble is if you're dependent so heavily on loan signings, you're asking for trouble, aren't they? Because these guys can go back at the drop of a hat. You know, how many loans have we got at the moment? Ideally, you want 5 at the club. What have we got, 7 or 8? And they're all, and most of them, all of them are pretty much assured a first team spot. If we can
and to an extent, I agree with Bob, who's replied to that comment, said certainly no point in pumping on a team from say 18th to 20th, but I wouldn't mind using it to try and make Ellis a permanent move, so you get 1 or 2 others on loan flexibility. And I agree that's where
the other thing as well you have to consider as well with these loan players is the clubs won't put up with it.
Yeah,
Scott Smith's come to us to play games,
Wigan won't want a loan
to play men's football. Wigan are not going to be happy with him. He's been sat in the stand for a month.
Yeah,
and we understand the situation and trying to bring other players in the positions that we need them. But the reality is, clubs loan players out to play football. They don't loan them out to sit in the stand. So there'll come a point, and I imagine it can't be far off for Smith, whereby Wigan say, "Look, I'm sorry, Torquay, this isn't working for me."
No.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. No, I agree. Dan says they've been there last night. My thoughts are that with Ness, Ellis weren't arriving, we have looked better. Can we get another 3 of those type of players or better and we'll be okay? The manager needs back in and these bodies that can go straight into the team. Good point, Dan.
The thing is, we've got a decent sized squad now where you say you'd have to get rid of a few if you're going to bring a few in, whether out on loan or something. I mean, how many centre backs do we have on the bench?
Yeah.
Can we push them out on loan? Can we?
Just a random question.
We can get 28, 27, 28 in the squad. It's starting to get ridiculous, isn't it?
Just a random question. I was thinking about this last night because we were a sub light last night. We could have had 9, which is great. And I was just having thought, where's Cameron Thompson gone? Because he's been and gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Hasn't he?
You'd imagine he
he's gone.
Contract, wasn't
he? I assume Corey was getting fit, so he said, you're not going to get played and sent back.
He must feature. I mean, he could feature in the pantheon of most pointless signings, couldn't he? He's in a Ginavu category, isn't he? Where they just appear and then they're gone before they've even played.
Already had two this season already before that, haven't we? The extra chap and who else?
The guy from Ipswich, Tommy Thingy.
Yeah. I mean, you look at who we've got on loan, and you think, right, who can we probably send back that we don't really need? I mean, if we're not going to play the Tomlinson, the Plymouth lad, send him back. Like, if he's just on the bench with no chance of playing, just send him back. What's the point?
We own Tomlinson. Is there any slight problem with that plan?
Yeah, he's permanent, Tom.
Yeah, he's permanent.
Oh, is he permanent? Released. Oh,
yeah,
he got released.
He
okay,
got released.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, shows how much I know. Well,
but it does ask the question. A squad like ours, you can't have players that are just like, they're young and experienced. You can't play them. You can't have that.
If we can't have players where we go like, oh yeah, not quite good enough. Stick them as let's not play midfield. Let's not play Tomlinson because when you build a squad, you're going to have a couple signings you don't think it happens, but you can't.
You can't have 8 of them.
No. Exactly. Ali says, I guess we pay some of our debt, but as a comment points out rightly, sadly, that money is nowhere near going to get out of debt. We're probably about 5 or 6 million in debt, and that was about 250k. So, I mean, that's a depressing point, really, isn't it? It's nice to thought it is.
But again, it's 250k that we wouldn't have had.
No, I
wouldn't have budgeted for.
No. But just put it. Give a certain amount for me. Put it into the squad. We just need to get a bit of money. Basically, the priority for me this season: get a squad that's starting to build a few assets. And we get away from a relegation zone. We don't have to lump every bit of money you could possibly think of to try and stay up. I'm sure, a bit will do it and look towards next season. But it's about building assets in the club, not just like players here and there, players that are going to start growing alongside that. Get a couple of players in on loan to speed it up. Whilst, they're sort of growing up a bit. but it's just kind of like, no, we need the assets, and I don't really see where that's going to be, because we've got to start developing players now and quick.
Yeah, right now, if you give me 20th place at the end of the season, I'm taking it. I don't know.
I agree with that thought, but we've got to get away from it. We can't be sat here in April.
I can't see with the players that I mean, Ellis, Ness, they've helped to an extent. De Silva's helped to an extent, but again, we're just not keeping clean sheets. We're conceding so many goals.
But that's system based.
This is such a pip.
Them two are great defenders, and it shows how bad we are with them two at centre back that we are still shipping.
Yeah, I just think at the moment, if you just, I know I was joking at the start of the season saying we're going to win it by 20 points, but right now, just give me 20th place. That's just, we cannot get relegated.
I take safety this season, of course, at this, but like to even, like now it sounds stupid because we're stuck right in it, but to be in March and April and we're thinking, are we going to stay up like in the Nicholson days in that era?
I think
that's unacceptable still. It's so unacceptable.
We're only 4 points off safety, so it's not at the bottom of the table. It's quite tight and compact. So
isn't it mad how it's not mad because it's the point we battled on ages.
Look who's down there. Oldham are down there.
Two teams that have come down from League Two. It just shows that's the argument for 3 up, 3 down, doesn't it? To get out of League Two, you have to have some huge disaster at your football club, and then you're down and you're just stuck forever. It's very rare.
We've had 2 disastrous summers. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing as well is there's a large part of me that says there are 4 worse sides than us in this league.
I'm not too sure.
But right now,
I'm not sure, mate.
I'm not sure.
Right now, are there
permanent squad?
On paper, there should be clubs like Maidstone.
There should be. Yeah.
Gateshead. Clubs like that. We should be better than them. But right now, are the 4 sides worse than we are? No.
Well, I do think goals. The mentality and character has come through a bit recently.
We're definitely improving. We're on the right tracks.
If we can marry that up with a system that balances out defence and attack, it doesn't have to be something miraculous. Just something that works between the two. We don't get caught on the counter. We can defend.
Yeah.
We can score goals. I feel like we'll score goals at the moment. There's opportunities. There's overlaps. We are creating a little bit more. There's a bit more imagination. I do fancy our chances, but it's just got to get that system in place.
How big is that Gateshead home game looking? That's huge. And then Yeovil over the Christmas period, that could be huge. If
we don't win that, I do predict a riot.
But hey,
sorry. Earlier, the plan was I was going to get about 10 Kaiser Chiefs songs in, but
I tell you what, Sam. Every day I love you less and less.
Honestly, I had plans for playing Asa Hall. I was going to go when I saw that goal. I was going to go nah. The own goal from Mark Ellis. I had it all planned.
All queued up, was it?
Actually, when they were playing Love's Not a Competition But I'm Winning, it obviously no, it's not a competition but I'm winning. And then I looked at my phone, apart from Torquay, we've gone 5-0 down. That was my thing. And then I had it all planned, but you just get good days and you get bad days.
Lads, I've got to shoot. I can hear World War III erupting behind me.
Okay.
So I think I'd better go in.
All right. I'll read 2 more very quickly. Steve, put the funds into a new manager and someone who can organise a defence. Hot take, Steve. Thank you for that. At Disco Barry needs to strengthen the midfield with someone who can win the ball, make ground, distribute. Lemon Ivan comes to mind. Also a forward who can do the same and get some shots off. Is this too much to ask? Thank you all for your comments. Thank you all for watching. Chris Run. And then, we'll see you.
Are you predicting 2-2? Chris, for the weekend.
We need to do predictions. We know we're going to win 2-1 at Barnet.
2-1, eh?
Yeah. Come on, Dom. Come on.
3-1 Barnet.
I'm going, so we should win. Me and Rich are making a rare journey out there, but my head says 3-1 to Barnet, Chris.
Oh, my life.
I will say 1-0. We're going to keep a clean sheet. Ben Winter's going to have a stinker, and we're going to be celebrated at 5 o'clock.
Train beers are on you, Dom, if I'm right.
Sam's face. Just look at his face.
You never miss a beat, Sam. Never miss a beat.
No. I've already done that one.
Did you just Google that?
Oh no, I had another one. I'll say zonal marking is the modern way. As another one. And the Torquay fans were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it! I've never been this far away from home whilst they're in Derby." But it didn't really work because we've got longer away trips. We go Gateshead soon. So yeah.
What was your prediction, Sam?
3-1 Barnet. Thanks.
You're all just great. Come on, Tom. Me and you all the way, Tommy. Me and you all the way.
Yeah, as ever.
We'll sort
My
it.
heart says we'll win, Chris. Honest.
Really? Right. Okay. All right. Then
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see whether your heart or your head's stronger.
Let's hope we're not the angry mob come Saturday.
Oh, he's done it.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.